All right, so this is the second half of the video. The first one was a lot longer than I anticipated, but we are talking a lot about arrays, which are used in every computer language that I can think of. Swift has some unique tendencies about it, and there's some more code up at the top that I did not show, or that I'm not showing. So make sure that if you haven't seen that video, that you have the top part of this as well. So right now what we're going to do is we are going to create another variable list or another array list, and we're just going to call it my array. Now, if I try to do this of something that I've already created, I will get an error, and I think I might have that now. Did I create a my array already? No. This is just telling me I'm missing some stuff. So I do want to tell it what data type. Why would I do that when I don't have to? Well, sometimes it prevents confusion later. Sometimes if somebody else is looking at my code and maybe they don't understand coding as much, they can look at this and be like, oh, you meant to do an array type of integers and you put doubles, and that's the problem. So here I'm going to do an array type of 3 names. I'm going to say Steve, Bob, and Juan. So I'm going to say Steve, Bob, forgot the quotations, and Juan. All right, so thinking back, what index is Steve? What index is Bob? And what index is Juan? Remember, arrays are indexed, so we can tell the computer, instead of grabbing Steve, we can actually say grab the value that's at this index. And most computer languages start counting at 0. So in this case, we want to say, or we do say, that Steve is at index 0, Bob is at index 1, and if you want to refer to Juan is at index 2. Now, if I were to say how many items are in the list, I still say 3. There's still 3. 1, 2, 3. But the index arrays are indexed. Move that back over. All right. So that is one of those things that does take a while to kind of get. So if I want to say something like, what is the myArray dot count? Well, this is going to get the number of items, which means it's going to get 3. It's going to return 3. What if I say my array and then give it an index number? So if I give it 0, this is going to give me an error right here because of that period. This is going to give me whatever is at index 0 and return. So it's going to give me Steve. So this gets the item at the index 0. What if I said index 3 right here? Well, then it'll give me an out of bounds error. What if I said 2? Then it'll give me 1. Out of bounds means I went to my 3rd slot and there's nothing there. What if I say my array and then I give it an index number? So here's 1, and I say now set that to Tom. Well, what this does is it's going to stop with the period. I'm keeping those periods because I'm hitting the space bar too much and it's an auto fill. So this changes, if I could spell changes, that would be awesome. Changes the item at the value, or the value at the item at index 1 to Tom. So in this case, it's going to remove Bob, and it's going to now the index or the array is going to say Steve, Tom, 1. All right, couple more. Now, what if we do my array dot append? Now remember, what does append to say append Gary. Well, this is, whoops, I did this wrong because we actually, no, we're good. This is going to add Gary to the end of the array. And what if we said my array dot remove? Remove at, let's say 0. This is going to remove Steve. So let's print my array. Print my array. And let's talk about what it's going to do. So here, my array count is going to print, it's going to get the number 3. Here, it's going to get the item at index 0, which is Steve. Here, it's going to replace Bob with Tom. So the array is going to be Steve, Tom, 1. Then it's going to add Gary at the end. So it's going to be Steve, Tom, 1, Gary. And then we're going to remove Steve. So my array is going to end up as Bob, 1, and Gary. Let's see if we're right. So here is, oh, I forgot to add Tom for the last time. So here's Tom. We've taken out Steve, 1, and Gary at the end. And if I see all of these others, here's the my array count. What does the count give us? It gives us 3. Here's the array, gets the index at 0, which should be Steve right now. And then we replace Bob with Tom. So this is just going to say Tom right here, which I don't like that it doesn't like tell you what it moves. We're going to add Gary to the end. So now we have Steve, Tom, 1, and Gary. Then we remove Steve. So then we have Tom, 1, and Gary, and we printed everything. Whew, that is, whoops, sorry. That is quite a bit. But there's a lot that you can do. Now, there's another thing called a dictionary, and this is going to really help you with the challenge. So to declare a dictionary, this is when you want to pair things together. So a dictionary is like an array where you can choose a variable and how to index it. And so they're like a paired values. For example, like name and streets and city, those would all be things that you want to index and variable or index and create an array together. So to declare a dictionary, and this is really going to help with the challenge, to declare a dictionary, you have a key paired with a value by a colon, and it's going to look kind of like this. So you have the key, colon, and then the value. And then close that. Close that. Key value pairs are separate from other key values with like a comma. So if I have more than one, so then if I have more than one, I'm going to have it look like this. Key value, comma, key value. So here I've got 3 things. This is the first key, and we can even like number that if that's helpful. I'm going to get rid of that space. But here's the first set, here's the second, and they're all together. Here's the third. Okay. So here is an example. We are going to do a var. I don't know why. Oh, I'm trying to get it to go. There we go. Here is a var, my address dictionary, and we're going to set that to city, colon, Chicago. Here we go. City, colon, Chicago. Sorry, I was confusing myself with the quotations. And then zip, colon. Now notice the zip is a number with 60611. All right, so let's think about what this actually looks like. City, so that I'm going to have my label city, Chicago, and then the zip and the actual zip, so that these all go together. The reason that I have the zip is 60611 as a string in not an integer is because I'm never going to mathematically add to the zip code. So I'm going to treat the zip code as a string because it's not a math number that I have to do anything with. And this creates a dictionary with 2 key value pairs, because here's one pair and here's the second pair right here is that zip. Please note, dictionaries are, so the above creates 2 key value pairs, and they're unordered. So they do not have index numbers. So we cannot say grab index 1, grab index 0, because there are no index numbers for key value pairs. To retrieve specific information, then you would retrieve the key, kind of like a lock and key. So here, if I said my address dictionary, here's that one, and I say grab the city, then this is going to return the value. So here's the key value. This is the key, and it returns the value. So now if I hit play, it's not going to show up in my console, but it does give me over here, and here's Chicago. So the key kind of turns the lock to the value of whatever it's paired with. Okay, that's hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. To add to this is part of your challenge. So to add to my address dictionary, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my address dictionary, and I'm going to call it by the name, my address dictionary, and I'm going to add a key, and I'm going to say states. Oh, that should be in quotations, state. And now I need to give it the value of Illinois. So this adds the key first and then the value of Illinois. If I want to update the pair, so let's say that instead of the city Chicago, we want to replace Chicago with the word Springfield, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to again call my address. I always need to call because I need to tell it which one to refer to, because I have a ton of variable lists here. So I'm going to say my address dictionary, and I'm going to say update. There we go, update value. Here's the value for key. And I'm going to say Springfield's, the 4 key city. And I have to match it. There we go, city. There we go. So now this is going, okay, well, what value do you want to replace for city? And now I'm saying take this city key and replace Chicago with Springfield. So now if I show my address dictionary, let's see if it shows it updated. There we go. There's the 3 of them, and here it has replaced city or Chicago with Springfield. And I can do the same thing and maybe say Barrington or maybe say Wheeling. Sorry. I can also declare empty dictionaries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video, and then the third video is going to be the very last part of this whole Hackwitch with the directions for the challenge as well.